Well, we're just arriving in Qatada 11. I'm looking forward to seeing my friend Mark Haldane. Mark and I have been friends for many years, and when Mark first came into this area in the early 90s, there was absolutely no wildlife. The civil war here in Mozambique, coupled with some poaching, had completely decimated all wildlife in the area. Today, as a result of great protection, the wildlife truly has come back in unbelievable numbers. There's been an explosive growth in the population here, and now there's just animals everywhere. How's it, bud? What do you love it?
You know, it's amazing. There's so many youngsters. That shows that you still got a fast-growing population and you're not even close to capacity, you know?
We absolutely do, and I think that's the very reason why we've decided that it's time to bring lions back. That's all we're missing is the apex predator here, and I think it'll just make us complete. Isn't it exciting to think that in a couple of weeks we'll have the king of beasts, the lion, roaring on the floodplains once again?
That's if I can catch them for you.
I've got big faith in you, you'll have no problem.
Give it our best shot, that's for sure.
You know, catching and moving animals is a really complicated deal. So we're going to catch these lions right from the wild and move them into a place where they're going to be enclosed. What you're hoping to do for the first while, once they first get enclosed, is put them in a place where they're calm, there's no people, they're not frightened, because this is just the first step of their integration. The next step is going to be introducing other lions on the other side of the fence that these lions don't necessarily know, and allowing them to get to know each other. Otherwise, if you just put them together, they're gonna fight and likely kill each other. So yeah, integrating lions, catching lions, moving lions is a lot more complicated than you think. So this is just to close them up so they don't see people while they're feeding, right?
And each other. The females will be on one side and the males will be on the other, and they won't necessarily know each other.
Yeah.
So initially we don't want to stress them out. So the feeding area will be private, because remember that the humans are actually going to bring them their meal, and we can't afford for the lions to associate the humans with my next meal. Else some poor chap's going to be going down the road on his bicycle and he's going to have an unfriendly friend following him.
How many guys have you got on this project alone?
We've got 28.
28 guys. So that's 28 families that have had what would have normally been a couple of years worth of income just in a couple of months.
That's exactly it. And that's the future of our conservation. If we can include everyone and everyone gets some benefit out of it, then it's here to stay.
You know, I think in Africa, the day that live wildlife is more valuable to a community, that's when you're going forward.
That's when we're turning the tide.
Yeah, I agree. You know, catching and moving lions is a complicated deal. You don't just catch them, put them in a box and let them go somewhere. These lions are traveling internationally, which means that first and foremost, they've got to be kept in a quarantine. Secondly, they've got to be integrated. We want to make sure there's good genetic diversity. And so these are bomas where there's actually 4 of them interlinked, where we can use them to put the lions in, integrate the lions, and they can pass quarantine. Safety for the people and safety for the wildlife has to be the very first consideration.
A lot rests on my shoulders at the moment. We've got to source these lions.
Yes.
We have preliminary sources already, so we're going to go out to those places. There we're going to assess their general health. What do they look like? We're going to be drawing blood, and we're going to be testing for about 4 major viruses. Every single lion is free-ranging and has been wild-born and bred. We're taking a founder population, so we must take the very best we can and the best genetics for the area. We've whittled it down to the 24 best. We're going to be taking to a brand new habitat. We're going to be releasing a group of lions that is just going to thrive.
Well, they're going to have a couple of million acres.
They're going to thrive.
So, Mike, tell us a bit about the logistics. What's it going to take to actually catch these lions?
Ivan, these are top species. These are, in other words, threatened or protected species in this country, and they fall under a whole permitting system. So we've got to have a permit to catch them, a permit to move them from where they are, a permit to import them to here. Then we've got to have a permit to keep them in this boma, and then we're going to have a health permit, and then we're going to have an export permit.
The prize of putting wild lions back into 2 million acres of wild Africa is what keeps us driven and motivated. This is a cool deal. This is going to be an interesting journey.
Right. Wow. This is exciting, man. We've been waiting now 3 days for these lions to pitch up. Of course, always at the last moment, but we're not complaining. They're here. we just settle everything down. Well, they've got a piece of bait behind the tree. Okay, we've got these two here. Here they come. I'm going to do this one over here now. Okay, I'm going to start. Keep an eye on the time, guys. Oh, we've got 3 down. We haven't managed to see the 4th one, and it's one of our prize ones that we really do need to take. So yeah, we're going to go have a look-see now. What's up front here? 2, 3. Okay, we've got 3 here. Okay, so they're all 3 here. Okay. That's good. Okay, just wait a moment. I just want to see if I can find the 4th one. I don't see any eyes. Can you see any eyes, guys? All right. So, Raina, listen. What's happened is we've got 3 out of the 4. The other one took off rather early. I don't see any eyes. Can you see any eyes, guys? All right. So, Raina, listen. What's happened is we've got 3 out of the 4. The other one took off rather early. There she is. Just to remind us. We're going to have to go and look for that female, hey? So we don't have a lot of time. I'm going to top them up and make them sleep for another hour or so. She's still there.
Yeah, she's taken like 2 steps forward.
Okay, yes, I can see her again. Okay, let's go.
Well done. Come a second.
There we go. Perfect. Let's get going, guys. Right, we've got 6 more lions now from Makalali, all bigger than the ones we've got here now. So we're hoping they're going to end up leading the prides that are going to form. So that brings a tally pretty good or close to what we were actually aiming for. They're going to be fun darting them. Raina, I'm just busy making up some darts. We've got to knock these lions down so that we can start unloading. Almost impossible to dart in these crates. These are bloods for the various virus tests that we're doing to ensure that these guys are healthy before they go to Mozambique. We're photographing whisker patterns. Whisker patterns are like fingerprints. They are unique to each and every lion. And if you compare the 2 sides, you're able to identify from a picture of a lion anywhere where it was and who it was.
So we just put in a microchip and we put it on the left side at the base of the left ear. Normally left is for female, right are for males, and it's a good place that you don't get a lot of migration.
Right, well, we finally got these lions offloaded. We've got 6 new lions, 6 beautiful lionesses here. Nice big girls. They're from the Makalali area. I think we've done really well. They're looking good. We're just going to wake them up, give them a little bit of a tranquilizer for the next few days, and then get ready for the long trip.
The 4th permit has got 6 Makalali.
Correct.
And until we've weighed them, Nolene, we're not going to have an accurate estimate. But I will say this, that the Makalali 6 will not fit on one plane.
We've got 26 lions in the boma right now, and they want to catch 2 more. So we'll have 28 and a permit for 25, so we'll bring the best 25 out, and I think we've got a damn good mix.
So if we put the 2 Mkuzi and the 4 Tembi, they may just fit on one plane. That makes sense, yeah? Perfect. Thanks, Nolene. Catching the lions and moving them around is one thing. Now we've got to get them in the air, and we've got certain payloads on certain aircraft that are pre-booked. That's got to correspond with the permitting and the licenses for each plane. So there's a lot of moving parts to this, and not least of which is just the practical application and abilities of the aircraft. So hopefully by the end of it, the weights tally, but if they don't tally, who knows what we're going to have to do. We're going to be darting 10 lions. These lions are going to be ostensibly under anesthesia for the next few hours. And so there's going to be a vet traveling with them every single step of the way. And that's not something we're prepared to even discuss. We're now going around to go in the gate, and they should be well asleep by now, and load them up. This is where it can get dangerous. We've just got to make sure that they're all asleep. Sometimes the drug can have a different effect on a different animal, and so you've got to be really careful going in here. These 3 permits have all got lions that are traveling today.
Okay.
We just need to minimize the time down now so that we can get them on the plane and get going. But all well so far. Scratch.
We've got 6 lions in this trailer. We've got the rest in the vehicles. The planes are ready. The flight plans are filed, and here we go. Well, we've got a whole entourage behind us with 10 beautiful, healthy female lions. The males will come in the next plane loads. But just what incredible seed genetics for this area, Mozambique, that hasn't had lions roaring it for probably 3 to 5 decades. This is conservation in motion right here. Look at this beautiful girl.
We hit 2 hours. It's taken a half an hour longer than I thought. I anticipate an hour and a half for our procedure and loading, but it's top-up time now.
We're going to have to top up probably every 1.5 to 1 3/4 hours. It just seems to be a lot faster consumption of drugs.
There's 100 things that can delay you, and I tell you one thing that will sure delay you is when one of the lions wakes up right as you're trying to load it. But he's back fast asleep. Thank goodness we've got a vet traveling with each load. The other plane is a few minutes ahead of us, but this plane is a bit faster, so hopefully we'll catch up with him before the next checkpoint. Some moments before takeoff. It's going to be a convoy of 3 planes, the vets and the helpers, and then 2 full planes of lions. Here we go, that's 10 lions on the ground. This is the second plane coming in.
Everything's nice and calm and stable. They've all behaved themselves.
Okay, this one's onto the stretcher and straight into that bucket.
You're welcome to our place.
Most of these people have never seen a real lion. It's going to be pretty interesting to see what they think of these lions. Well, that's the 5 last lions landing here in Mozambique. And finally, we're on to the last steps.
Look at this, 3 truckloads of lions driving out onto the floodplain where the bomas are. I mean, that just, it's like a weight off our shoulders.
You tell me about it, Dave. This is going to change the face of the Delta forever.
They're all just getting their antidotes. And in a few minutes' time, these guys are going to leave their first footprints on the sand of Mozambique.
And become true Mozambique citizens. Did it.
It's kind of surreal to think that this phase is over. These guys have got about another 6 weeks in the Boma here. And it's going to get really exciting as we open the gates and let them out into the wild here of Mozambique. An area that hasn't had wild lions in it in sustainable populations for 40 years. The stage is pretty much set for this release. We've got the water buck in place. It's tied with a rope so the lions can be coaxed out. As beautiful as these bomas are, these lions are sure going to be happy to walk out into the wild floodplain of the Zambezi Delta.
It's been 6 weeks since we first put the lions in these bomas. We believe that they're habituated now and ready to be released. We're looking forward to letting these guys out and adding to the fray, and I think it's going to be some exciting times ahead for myself and the research team and every one of these guys who's worked so hard at this conservation for the last 25 years.
So these lions have been conditioned that that sound of the gate rolling open means food. So hopefully it won't take long before they move out. The gates are open. The bait is right in the open gateway. Just hoping that these lions are going to see the bait and come walking out. The bait is also tied to a rope that's attached to the back of this vehicle. See, there she goes. Stop. Switch off, switch off. This is several years in the planning, huge amounts of logistics. And I can't even tell you what it feels like to be here 30 yards away from these lions having their first meal in the wild. It's really hard to put into words or even film what the whole team has gone through to get to this point, but I can't even tell you. I'm kind of speechless. Tonight, the sun sets on a brand new piece of wild lion habitat, a piece of Africa that hasn't had lions in decades, and all of this built on this incredibly solid anti-poaching foundation that have been put in place by these safari operators. Hunters' dollars have knocked it out the park on this one.
With the roar of the African lion once again echoing across the floodplains of Mozambique, it's a humbling reminder of the power that we as humans have over the world that we inhabit. While that power can lead to the loss of a creature as mighty as the lion, so too can we use that power to protect them. As we have discovered on this journey, it is a daunting task that can span across weeks and countries.